channel. If you're new and just tuning in, hello and welcome to my channel. And if you've been here before, hi. It's been a long time. I tried recording this once already, but it just was long and just me sitting here, so it was kind of boring, and I was just like, let me refilm it. So I waited a couple days and now I'm refilming. If you've been here before, you know that it has been a long time since you've seen a video from me, and that is for multiple reasons. So, I have had a lot of health problems. Now, you can't really see full me, but I kind of went further away from the camera so you could see more of me. I'm pretty large. I've had health issues for a long time, but it's kind of prevented me from doing the kind of exercises that I used to do when I was a kid. Therefore, I've gotten big. Now, I've gotten this my whole life. Even when I was small or smaller, you're fat. Just lose weight. It'll fix your issues. Why is that? That's what I want to know. I want to know why doctors seem to think that every issue that I have is related to my weight, especially when I was younger and I wasn't overweight. The BMI scale is astronomically stupid. And I've just been considered overweight since I was like in junior high, and it doesn't make any sense to me because looking back on pictures from junior high and not middle school, that's the same thing, elementary school, and high school, I was small, especially in comparison to now. And so I'd just be happy being the weight I was in high school again. So that started a long journey of me trying to fight with doctors that started when I was a kid. It's been ongoing since. Now, I've changed medical providers a few times. Once when I moved from high school to the area I live now. And then another time when my mom's medical insurance changed. And then once again, when that insurance was no longer available through her job. And since then, I've been on Calviva, which is California's version of free medical insurance through California. And it's pretty bad. The first doctor I had she had the appointment with me, did not message me back at all for any of the more emergent things I had, nor the things that I had that I wanted referrals to. I tried calling, got nowhere. Tried emailing, got nowhere. It was just a hassle, to say the least. And that's not the first time I've had issues with a doctor in general, because my first and only appointment with her was a medical history to the nurse. And then she read that and came in and told me I was overweight and had diabetes, and all I needed to do was cut my calories and cut my sugar intake by like a gigantic portion, and didn't tell me how to do it, didn't get me in touch with a nutritionist, didn't say this and this might help you to be able to do it, like the possibility of gastric bypass or a sleeve, which is something I've been wanting since high school. And just circumstances haven't allowed it because of the change in medical insurance. By the time that I was finally able to see a specialist on it, my medical insurance was out. So I've been trying since high school to get weight loss surgery. Now, finally, I had the second doctor I went to. I have issues with her, but they're not nearly as bad as last time, the last doctor. At first I thought she was much better in comparison She didn't call me fat immediately. She put that I was morbidly obese in my file, and she also put that I had major recurrent depression when she hasn't evaluated me on depression. So how can she make that diagnosis? Nor is she a psychologist to make that diagnosis. Nor had she sent me to therapy or done anything. I've been in therapy since a few years ago for another reason. That's through a victim advocate's. Please, cat. Oh my gosh. My cat, ladies and gentlemen, likes to knock things over and cuddle with me. Oh, there's my girl. Anyways, I'll let her go. Please don't. No. Don't go up there. Go that way. Go that way. I have a bunch of stuff over here for a few videos if I can get through them, and for things that I just bought. So I haven't put them away yet. But back to the story. So this doctor, I told her obviously immediately that I wanted weight loss surgery, amongst other things, but my more pressing concerns at the time were getting on medications for the things that I used to be on, now that I finally have insurance again. And then after that, getting in to see specialists for my knee, and then for gastric bypass surgery possibility. Of course, I don't know why, but this knee injury that I've had, it took months and months and months to get a referral for an MRI, and months more to get the MRI because they denied it a few times. But I did finally have the MRI of my knee, and I have a torn meniscus. Now, of course, my doctor said, if you lose weight, you'll get rid of that. Or it can heal on its own, and then you won't need surgery, and you could do physical therapy. And I was like, all great, except for the fact that you're not referring me to a gastric bypass surgeon to help me do it, because I've tried dieting. I've tried keto diet, slash paleo diet, or whatever it's called. Basically where you cut sugars and breads and stuff like that. I've tried, multiple things. I have high cholesterol now because I've cut more sugar out of my life because I have diabetes, which she also diagnosed me with. And I just have a host of issues. I finally got in to see a diabetes doctor, but it wasn't what I had hoped. I had talked to her and told her that I wanted gastric bypass, but apparently she's not able to refer me to a gastric bypass, and then I had issues with my insurance finding a provider in the area that took my insurance for gastric bypass, and so I had to switch medical groups within my insurance to get it. And finally I'm on Santi medical group through Calviva, and they have a bariatric surgeon, actually a whole facility in the area, and it happens to be the host of a doctor who is on the board of the National Association for bariatric surgery, and he's like the president. So, and that's for the whole country, not just for Fresno. And so I was like, great, that's awesome. Of course, it took a month, and this is a month ago now, to get a appointment. So I got the appointment. It was last week, and I'm excited for it. When I spoke to her about my problems, she seemed to think that I'd be able to get it expedited. So I'm excited about that. And the reason she's expediting it is because I was in a car accident 7 months ago. Now they want me to have spinal surgery, major spine surgery. I've tried chiropractic services. I've tried home remedies of physical therapy, and a bunch of like heating pads, icy hot, biofreeze, Dr. Teal's Epsom salts with menthol in them, taking long warm baths, taking long cold baths, taking ice to my back, medications, several things. The medicines, however, are not really anything. My doctor gave me a muscle relaxer because then I could still work and take it. However, it didn't do anything for me, and progressively my back got worse, and I found out why it got worse. Sorry, I have to stay hydrated. I'm having issues today. I found out why it got worse because I finally got MRIs like 3 months after my car accident. I had my first MRI of the lumbar spine. I believe it was the lumbar that I got first. The lumbar showed that I have degenerative disc disease in the L4 and L5, a disc desiccation, otherwise known as disc bulging, in the S1 and L5 region, 3 millimeters each, and one of them, I believe, is pressing on my spinal cord. There she is. And so I have lost feeling not only in below my knee on my left leg, because I've had loss of feeling since surgery on that years ago, but also above my knee now, all the way into my butt and lower back. I can't feel any of it. Light pressure, nothing. I can feel on the inside pressure, like when you're poking at it, but I can't feel anything on the outside extremity of it. And so I'm getting to the point where if I don't have surgery for it, or I don't lose weight to take the pressure off of my back, I will become paralyzed. So finally, that caused my doctor to be able to get me a referral, and last month I scheduled an appointment. This month I had the appointment. So I had the appointment, and it actually went fairly great. Actually, really great. She listened to me. She actually wrote down everything I had to say. She considered it all important, which I knew it was important because all of it had to do with why I needed this surgery so bad. But finally, it felt nice to have a doctor tell me that something that I thought was important was important. As you can see, now I'm leaning forward. This is because, look, I have 4 pillows stacked on top of each other to keep my back from pain. Now, I've had back pain for multiple years. And so when I got the MRIs after the car accident, that was the only reason I got them, even though I had had prolonged back pain for years before this. I've had issues with my back for years. I had fallen down the stairs about 4 years ago. And then I had a tailbone abscess, which can be caused by trauma. They're not sure if it was because it was a long period of time after, but can be caused by trauma to the back and the tailbone region. It can be caused by a few other things, but it's basically a wormhole because your body's not able to get the fluids it needs to where it needs to go. And it's disgusting, and they had to drain it and then surgery on it to close it. And then a few years later, or even only a year later, I had my knee injury, had surgery for that 4 to 5 months later, somewhere around there, and then started healing from that. Was about 2 years in, started noticing pain in that again. Got the MRI for my knee just before I had my car accident and showed the torn meniscus. Thankfully, the car accident didn't affect my knee, I don't think, any further. I do still feel the pain, but I think it's still from the meniscus. I have no way to know because they won't scan it again though. But I've been trying to get to see a surgeon for that because I had physical therapy for it. I did also go see a specialist for it, and he recommended that I go get surgery, or at least look into the option of having surgery or other kinds of therapies, which aren't covered by my insurance. The only kind of therapy that's covered is mental therapy and physical therapy. They don't allow hydrotherapy. I have just figured out that it's a possibility if I go to physical therapy, they might suggest hydrotherapy and then it would be covered because the physical therapist recommended it. If they have one to cover it that will cover it in Fresno. However, that's still in the works. I still have to go see a physical therapist. However, with all the surgeries coming up, it's kind of like, meh. So I had that appointment with her and it went great. And she was like, well, because of all your physical limitations and back problems and how urgent they are, finally somebody's telling me that something that I have wrong with me is actually urgent instead of them saying, you can wait to get it fixed, was phenomenal. And when we finished speaking, she put in the orders for labs immediately for the psycho valve that I need. She said she should be able to get it expedited because of the fact that I have the back problems. And it seems like it's going to go that way because I've already done the lab work. I just went in today to get the lab work for the blood. I'm waiting to hear from the coordinator to schedule like sleep apnea tests or any other kinds of tests I need before I can have surgery. I think I qualify to have surgery without a sleep apnea test because I've been tested for it before, but it has been a long time and I don't have the records of that on hand. I'd have to get them transferred and it might just be easier to do the test. And then I already have the psych eval scheduled for tomorrow. And the only other thing that's on the list besides those tests that I have to get scheduled for by the coordinator is a nutrition class, which she said could be waived by insurance due to physical need for the surgery, urgency in the surgery process, because the nutrition class takes 4 months to go through, one every month. And she said that based off the knowledge that I have from it, because my mom had gastric bypass and a friend of mine had gastric bypass and they did well on it, not to mention I do live with my mom, due to many circumstances for the past, well, I've almost always lived with her besides college. It's just less rent, easier if one of us gets into financial troubles, which still a problem. If it wasn't me, then if it wasn't her, then it was me, vice versa. And so I think that's going to get scheduled probably within the next month, and that makes me really happy because it's been such a long fight to get this done. And I know this video doesn't really seem to have a specific flow to it, but that's kind of just because I wanted to divulge what's going on with my life, you know, what's currently going on in my life and the issues that led up to it. Now, the reason I tell you all of this is because it has had a significant impact on not only my physical ability to be able to film because of my area that I have to film in, it being on a bed and not having back support. Also, it's had a limitation on my mental health. I've been in therapy for multiple years for something unrelated, and we do talk about unrelated things to that topic. However, you know, when you're in so much constant pain, it's hard to get up and do anything. And it's gotten to the point where this past month I haven't been able to work. I am a nanny, and now my job is hanging in the balance, which I'm not too pissed about because I don't like the job. But I am pissed about because I don't make money now. So it's kind of a win, not a win, a lose-lose situation. However, it's it's hanging in the balance of whether I can come back and before they find somebody else. Now, it did happen at a good time for both me financially and them personally, because one of my two bosses, passed her bar exam and is looking for a job and wouldn't be able to start for a few months until she gets her paperwork for the bar. But she did pass it, so she's got a few months off, and so that gives me time to really get these surgeries scheduled and give them a start date that I could possibly come back. And if I can come back before they have heavy need for me again, then they don't need to find anybody else. However, I don't know that I want that, because if I do get this weight loss surgery, that could prevent the spine surgery, which is the whole reason for having it expedited. And if I can avoid the spine surgery, I will lose weight, be healthy again, and be able to withstand a harder job, which I'd prefer doing. Because one, it would pay more than $13.50 an hour, which is minimum wage here in California in the area I live in. And two, it would prevent me from working for them because I don't particularly enjoy their politics, humor, arguments, multiple things. It's affected my life greatly. I had COVID because of them, so, I'd prefer to not work for them anymore. However, I'd prefer to have a job to not having a job, so I would take it back if it meant that I had a job again, at least. And then it also came at a good time because my mom is working again. She hadn't been working, A, because of COVID, and she doesn't have a spleen, so COVID would really kick her in the butt if she got it. And B, just before COVID, she had lost the job that she was at. That was a contract job. They just didn't uphold their contract with her. Basically due to a coworker thinking she was rude. And I don't know why that was enough to terminate her, but it was. Now, I don't fault my mother, because personality is a personality. Also, she speaks her mind. So a lot of people don't like that. And it just is what it is. However, I think it did end up coming at a good time because COVID did happen and she was able to get unemployment during that time, which was able to supplement what I was making in income, just enough to keep us afloat the entire time and just enough for her to access a job. And it's a really good paying job. However, it's only a short-term contract. And so we're back to, will she be employed in a few months kind of situation. So it would be good if I had the bariatric surgery, the gastric bypass surgery, before doing the spine operation and hopefully avoiding the spine operation, because the recovery time is a lot shorter for the bariatric surgery. Not to mention, I will start to lose weight immediately after the surgery and it will drop like a fly. Keeping it off will be hard, of course, because keeping weight off in general is hard. And if I've been overweight once before, it can be easy to do it again, especially because I know my love of food. But if I can manage to keep it off, which I'm determined to do for my health, I could avoid many of my health problems that I have currently, be healthy and active again, do what I love the most, which is swimming, biking, walking, and just really enjoying me and being in my own body all the time, And she said I could easily lose over 100 pounds, maybe more, which would keep me from A, being overweight, B, from probably having diabetes anymore, and C, make me healthy enough to do things in my life again, including a job. avoid major spine surgery in the process, which is my #1 goal. Spine surgery is 6 months to 12 months recovery time. I don't have that kind of time. My mom doesn't make that much money. And so that is where I've been, what I've been up to, why I haven't been able to film. Amongst other things, obviously life, and for the few months after I had stopped posting videos, I had taken a few videos. However, it just was very difficult to post. I have really slow Wi-Fi that takes hours to post. Meanwhile, my phone will not let me multitask into other apps other than YouTube while I'm uploading. And so I would film and then not have the time or accessibility to be able to post a video. And I was working at the time, and it was pretty full-time for a while, so it got difficult. However, I am back, and hopefully to continue. Now, as I mentioned before, I have multiple pillows supporting my back, and I'm having to lean forward and then go back a lot more than I used to. However, I'm still hoping that I can film videos in bulk and then post one by one, or film at least a video every week and post one by one that way. We'll see. I am in pain now. I was at the ER last week, so anything's better than that currently. I will never go back to the ER for this problem because they just shoved it under the rug like everything else, but managed to keep me there for 24 hours, even though they were still going to shove it under the rug. And so, you know, I'm done with the ER because I've been there twice in the last month, and it's done me no good either time. They gave me a new scan of my lumbar spine, only to show the exact same thing that I had 6 months ago when they originally scanned it, and then sent me home with no pain meds. And that's another problem I've had, is with my doctor. She started out good, like I said, and it became her not putting in requests, her not listening to me, her shoving everything under the rug, essentially. I asked for those MRIs for my back, and it took months to get them approved because she wouldn't put in the correct notes, and I was literally giving her every piece of information she needed to input verbatim in a message on her app, or her website / app, and it still wasn't getting done. And so finally it did. Otherwise I would have transferred doctors at the time, and I'm still considering it. However, it's mid-month, so I can't transfer doctors until the beginning of this coming month. And with the holidays, it's going to be a little difficult, but I'm going to get it done. Now that I have all my specialists, I'm just waiting on the last MRI of my sacral region, which of course she's not putting in the notes in again for. But as soon as she puts in the chiropractic notes that I have, which I did send her today, we should be up and running, and I can get a new doctor. Hopefully that one's better, and if not, I'll switch it again and keep switching it, because that won't matter anymore. I will have the specialists I need. And so as long as I stay into the same medical group, I will be able to receive those specialists through my insurance group and be fine. That is where I'm at. If you've noticed, I am drinking a lot. That is because of the diabetes. I do actually have it mostly under control. I do forget to take my medicines every now and again. I went from not having any medicines nor insulin to having both very quickly. It was an adjustment. I was terrified to do shots. Thankfully, my mom is a nurse. She taught me how to do it. It's not as bad as it looked to me. It does pinch, but it's not anything compared to the effects I get when I have a lower high blood sugar, so I'll take it. I The only side effect I mostly maintain currently is having my water intake. I'm always thirsty. I need water all the time. And that will fix, hopefully, with the gastric bypass surgery. And therefore, this won't be so much of a need. 64 ounces in a day should be enough. I take triple that currently. I mean, you're allowed to drink more than 64 ounces in a day. That's fine. Obviously, I'm not overindulging in water, otherwise I'd be drowning in it. Because you can drown in the water that you drink. Drunk. One of the words. So I'm obviously not drinking too much, but it's still an excessive amount for someone to take compared to what the normal amount is to be hydrated. And my skin is still dehydrated. I have dry skin everywhere, and moisturizer, nothing really works. I wanted to film this video completely plain, meaning no makeup, kind of hair up. You can see me for me. I just hope that this video shows other people out there that if they're having issues with their insurance, with their doctor, with getting told that they're fat over a course of 1,000,000 years, keep going, keep fighting, because you can get there, and become resilient, fight back, have a voice, because if you don't, you won't get anywhere. And yeah, I'm gonna say that it's frustrating as hell, and you cry half the time because it seems like no one's listening to you. And it doesn't seem like no one's listening to you. No one is listening to you. But take therapy in the meantime with somebody that is actually good. Change therapists if you need to. And get what you need for your health done. You know your body. Every single person, except people with certain illnesses, has a knowledge of their body and what is wrong. They can tell what's wrong with their body and when. Except people that can't tell if they're hot or cold, that kind of thing. Self-regulating. I'm a self-regulating being. I know when I'm hot. I know when I'm cold. I know when I need water, or when I feel like I need water. I know. The only thing I don't know about my body, and that's because of all the medical issues I have, is when I'm full. Because my stomach is too big. It's gotten so enlarged that it can't tell me when I'm full anymore, because it never feels full, because it's been expanded too much, which is why I'm having the gastric bypass, because the gastric bypass, for those of you who don't know, shrinks your stomach. They literally cut it into a fourth of what it used to be. It's amazing. A lot of people say it's a cheat. I will tell you this. Going from having that big of a stomach to this big of a stomach is not easy overnight. Not even overnight. In a few hours, you go from having that big of a stomach to this big of a stomach. That's a huge difference. That's got to be hard. Not to mention it's a surgery, so you're opening your flesh and opening up your body to possible infection, anemia, millions of problems. You're going under anesthesia, which can also cause millions of problems if you're allergic, if your body goes into arrest, if you die on the operating table, a million different things. If they nick anything, if they find cancer, who knows? There's a million things that can go wrong with a surgery. Therefore, it is not the easy way out in any means. And please don't let other people tell you that it is and actually believe it. Because surgery, in any sense, is difficult to have done and know the outcome. Not to mention a surgery that your brain doesn't register that you've lost that much of your stomach. I mean, it knows that you've had anesthesia, you've had surgery of some kind, but it doesn't know that you've lost half your stomach, and your mind doesn't tell you, oh yeah, I can't eat that much anymore. So you sit there and you try to eat a bunch because your body still feels hungry, well, not because your body still feels that you're hungry, because your mind still tells you that you're hungry. And you have to either deal with the consequence of throwing up because you did that and having your stomach enlarge over again, or you have to deal with learning how to cope with that and not eating so much anymore and going very slowly. And basically you start off with a liquid diet. It's completely liquid. You can't have anything chunky. You can't have anything thick. You can't drink through a straw. You're in the hospital for a few days to a few weeks, depending on if you have any complications. Then you switch to thicker fluids, so you can have some kind of soups that don't have chunks in it. But you're not eating solid foods for a month, at least a month. And then after that, it's like a meatball this size will fill you. And you have to eat it in tiny little pieces. That's how my mom described it to me. Amazing difference. And that's how much your body only needs. As long as you're keeping your foods hydrated with protein and the nutrients your body needs. You don't want a low blood sugar, obviously, but you don't want a high blood sugar. You want a good amount of protein to keep your body sustained and fiber, but not so much that your body is like throwing it up. It's a balance. And your body needs a lot less than you've grown to think it does. And therefore, it's a huge transition, especially to happen in a few hours of having the surgery. So, it is not in any means an easy way out. Please don't ever let anyone tell you that. If you're thinking about getting it, ask questions. If you're thinking about getting it, join groups, join therapy, join a doctor's association that deals with it through your insurance. But get things moving. The worst that can happen is you go to an appointment about it and you talk about it and you ask about it and you don't decide to get it. It could not be right for you. Now, on top of all the complications that you have and not being able to eat for a good chunk of time, you lose a bunch of weight really quick. You have to take vitamins for the rest of your life. You cannot take blood thinners for the rest of your life. That means NSAIDs, like ibuprofen, no longer ever allowed. You can't take it. Anti-inflammatories, bye-bye. Gone. There are so many things that will supplement in your life for changes with this surgery. So it's not the easy way out by any means. You do lose weight very quickly, but it's not easy. And you can easily gain it back if you're not careful. I think that's my piece on it. That's what's been going on. I also, if you can't tell by this dark circle on my eye, had an infection. It was another abscess. I took antibiotics, drained it myself because my doctor sucks and wouldn't get me in to see a dermatologist until not even next month, the following month in February. And therefore, I had to pop it myself, like put a little needle through it that was sterilized and squeeze it all out, and managed to avoid it squeezing into my eye and causing another infection because it got so severely close to my eyeball that it was causing pain to my eyes. And I also had an abscess on the back of my neck that still is not gone. I've been trying to get antibiotics for that. Can't get antibiotics for that because if I get antibiotics for that, I'll get another fungal infection, which I'm still trying to fight off from this abscess. It's a mess. I have a million problems going on, and a giant majority of them, including the fungal infection, can be diverted because of the gastric bypass surgery. Because the reason I have the fungal infection is because it's under a flab of skin that's got a bunch of fat on it. And therefore it's rubbing and friction with the other area and sweating and no escape for it. Therefore, it caused an infection. And it won't go away with soap and water because it's infected now. And so you see, it's a long process of getting healthy again, regardless of if you take a surgery option to heal yourself a little faster. But I think it's far worth it. Having to take vitamins for the rest of my life versus blood pressure meds, heart rate meds, diabetes meds, and insulin, cholesterol meds, pain meds, muscle relaxers. It's all bad for your body, whereas vitamins are only good. Vitamins keep you healthy. Medicines will make you healthy-ish, but there are side effects. So I'll take the option of vitamins for the rest of my life. And being healthy again in every other sense. Alright, well, this video did end up being long too, but I feel like I was more concise, got more of what I needed out, and it might just have to be that long. Oh well, if you don't want to watch, you don't have to, I suppose. If you didn't watch and you just skipped to the end, you didn't miss too much. I mean, it was just me talking about all my health problems and why I've been gone this entire time. From the last video I posted to now, which has probably been 1.5 years, maybe even 2 years. At least 1.5 years, a year, something like that. It's been a while. The next couple videos I post are going to be a makeup video, Ipsy. I mistakenly got an Ipsy bag this month, so I'm going to film that next. So you're going to see me with makeup again, because I'm going to do a try-on, a little try-on, because there's eye makeup. And then I'm also going to do another video on all of the options and things I use for trying to heal my back pain and any pain in general. And then a video on things I got from Ulta. I just got like hair products and stuff like that, things I needed, but I always love it when I shop, so. And then I'm also going to do a video on Bath and Body Works products that I got for free. You can see how I did it. Technically they weren't free. I did have to pay for them at some point, but when they were significantly cheaper, and I did get to use a portion of those products that I had first and switch them out. Pretty cool. Just kind of normal stuff, I guess. And some crystal videos, how I deal with my pain holistically, spiritually, and yeah, and maybe some more health videos to, one, educate people on things they may not know about, and two, to provide other people with knowledge that it's okay to have something wrong with you and want it fixed and be getting nowhere and feel bad about it, and other people are dealing with it. So support each other and you can get through it. And that's the main message of life. Support your family, support your friends, support everyone that you know that has something that you're going through or that you're not going through, because there is support for you out there, and look for it. Confide in people. There is faith in humanity, even if it seems dim at times. You just have to find the right people. Keep fighting. Thank you.